Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just gonna make a quick, very improv video of just my thoughts so far on the endgame rating in Final Fantasy. So, really quick before I start off, I just wanted to let you guys know this is some Turn 3 footage I have of Coil. Turn 3 is an absolute joke. If you really want to know what to do, just click on the blue dots to determine what direction you want to shoot, and then stand in the middle of the platform. If you see a ring and you jump through a ring, you're going the correct direction. If you don't, you're pretty much hunting for a treasure chest, or you're just going to find more trash. Everything here is ridiculously easy and boring. So let's start off with the primals, because or actually, I should start off with gearing up. Gearing up in Final Fantasy was only two dungeons, AK and CM, as you guys know, Keep and Castrum. It was a grind, just like most MMOs, but it wasn't bad. For me to get full Dark Light on my Paladin, it was probably about a week's worth of work at a fairly casual pace compared to what I'm used to in a hardcore sense. It was about 4 hours a day of doing it, but I was a tank with near instant queues. I did also get a few days of AK speed running it when it was available. Now I still think you can do it in a week with like 4 days with a tank helping you out or a healer for some quicker queues. I do feel bad for some DPS waiting 45 minutes plus, but just go to Reven's Toll, and there's enough CM groups going around to make it worthwhile. The Royal Quest was really cool. I think that was a really nice thing for solo players for the most part to do something before Coil. The weapon is very good, best in the game. As soon as you plus one it, I think the actual way they went about it, forcing you to do some form of content and stuff like that, was very nice. I really enjoyed it. So I guess it's time now for the actual rating. Alright, so primals. If it was a joke, the first time I went in there, I didn't realize I had to interrupt. So it was kind of funny because I actually told someone they were bad for standing inside stuff. It was like, oh, well, that wasn't supposed to go off. Well, you weren't supposed to be standing in it. And then it realized that you have to have a paladin interrupt it. Just kind of weird. As soon as that was, it completely trivialized that fight. It was easy. It was boring. As a paladin, the entire time I'm staring at a health bar, just going, okay, get ready, shield bash, shield bash. Okay, get ready to shield bash. Mechanics of dodging was very simple, but I guess it was a good entry level for people that have never done any kind of raids, primals, fights, or things like that nature. So I can't really fault them for that. Garuda was Simon for me, and people would probably say Titan's more like Simon, but Garuda's just simply memorizing what's going to happen next and just acting on that. So again, I'm doing this from a tank perspective. It's very motion heavy, so I knew after the rotation phase, the first rotation, I knew it was going to go to the middle. So it was my job to stop a little early, get into position, and run right to the middle so that DPS could keep up the most uptime and kind of be able to carry bad DPS or bad groups, which wasn't too bad. Very simple, very easy, but it was kind of cool. It was the first thing with a lot of different mechanics, and a lot of things going on, and it was interesting. It was fun for like the first 1, 2 kills, and after that, it was kind of on farm status, and it lost all throw. Titan, the pub stomper. Titan is a weird fight because I think it's a stupid check, and that's the best way I think to describe it. It was literally a stupid check. It was, can you react to things you know that are coming exactly, which is like PVE 101. It was, oh, you know bombs are coming in this order. You should stand over in this direction, or this thing or that thing. It was also a healer's test of precasting, which I feel like Final Fantasy and my coil runs so far are very big on. Tank damage and things like that is very spiky. So I drop and I shoot back up, I drop and I shoot back up. It's not steady like more like a WoW MMO. So I think precast is super important, and Titan taught that to your healers. That was their way of saying, if I get behind, I'm screwed. And that was the first case so far where you couldn't kind of reactively heal. It was okay. Free cast up, doesn't need it, cancel it, so I don't waste my mana, or jump or things like that. I'm gonna go back to DPS again. Like I said, very casual today, guys. For DPS on that fight, again, stupid check. You knew exactly what was coming and how it was coming. Like, I don't understand it. I'm gonna start doing the fight soon on my Bard that just hit 50, but I don't see it being too hard at all. I mean, I could be completely wrong, and I may change my opinion once I actually do it. Because again, I'm doing it as a tank. But I pretty much memorized most of the things. I know how to switch to a core and pop cooldowns. So I don't feel like it's going to be that bad. So let's get into Coil now. Coil isn't hard in the sense of mechanics. Coil is like you need personal skill though to make up for the gear gap. And as a lot of you know, Crystal Tower was supposed to be what you're supposed to be doing before Coil. Uh, Crystal Tower gave you eye level 80 gear, and Dark Light is 70, and Coil gives you eye level 90. So Crystal Tower is supposed to be a filler. You do Crystal Tower, you split into 3 groups, and you guys all go do Coil. But it wasn't ready, and now we're stuck with Coil, which is extremely difficult. But I think it's only difficult because of the gear. So you're literally trying to make up for the gear, which is why I think Coil relies very heavily on your tanks and healers and their synergy together. And let me get into it for each turn. So turn 1, Catechus. Well, I should start with the joke ADS mini boss beforehand. You gotta get your rotation down as far as your silences. It shows that, hey, it might be a little bit more mechanics than just tanking spikes, which was interesting. But once you get silence rotation going, you tank your one tank in the back, one tank in the front. It's trivial. So just a little thing. It was like, oh, wiped a few times because of what is this? It was learning it. Once you learned it, absolute joke. No DP, no huge spikes, no mechanics, crazy like that. Nothing. So the actual first boss of turn. Hey, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee, guys. So the actual first turn was Catechus, first boss. Catechus was a weird fight in the sense of it was very spiky. I have a video of it. I'm gonna do a how-to once I get probably this week. Once I get into it a little bit more, but Catechus is very spiky. Full dark light, my tank and I were dropping down and up and down and up with no stacks on Catechus, which was weird. But you have to have your DPS on point and bringing over the stacks and things like that. But if your DPS was Relic Weapon, we actually found that in the second phase you could skip the entire mechanics and just pop Shield Wall or Hallowed Ground, in this case a Paladin, and DPS through it. We killed the first ad doing a couple of the slimes, whatever else. Went over to the second and just popped level 3 limit break, DPS as hard as we can, and I actually wound up covering my main tank of the fight. Took an extra 6,000 damage, and the fight was dead. It was over. I was like, okay, so I guess we could skip mechanics if you're good enough, which I kind of didn't like. Turn 2. Turn 2 was, oh man, ADS. ADS is cool. ADS is a very cool fight. The first fight I was truly impressed with. ADS has certain mechanics in it where you could actually make the fight fit your group. So as you guys saw from my video, we do the certain, let's cater a little bit more to the melee and range because that's what we had, and make it a little bit harder for tanks or things like that. And it went by very smoothly. It was a very smooth kill, very easy kill. It was actually the second attempt for the night. The first attempt we actually got him down to like 10%. And it was great. I was impressed with it. I was impressed with the customization of it and things like that. To where you could actually change the fight to fit your needs. So it wasn't pigeonholing you into a certain group makeup, which I'm going to get to in a second. It was interesting, it was cool, but it was fairly, again, easy. Very heavy on the rot, but once you got that down with the communication with your group, not a big deal. and then very heavy on your healers because spiky. Again, it's very spiky, very precast heavy. I think when Crystal Tower Gear comes out, Coil is going to be like a walk in the park. Especially now that you know everything on the mechanics. I think it's just going to be a little bit more gear, and it's not going to be hard at all. So turn 4, we haven't down turn 4 yet. Well, turn 3, I kind of already gave my thoughts on. Just jump through hoops. Trash is stupid. Stay with your group. We made the mistake, you'll see in the video, of us kind of separating, just laughing, goofing, having a good time, and wasting 20 minutes of the raid, which was stupid. We were in actually hunting for treasure chests. But once we kind of got everyone on pace, you could kind of just run through it. We actually think there's a way to speed run it. Have tank grabs things, and you just start jumping off the way you have to go. But we haven't tested it yet, or see if it'll actually work. But it's quite boring, quite easy. It's just a time sink. So turn 4. Turn 4 is annoying. And it's not annoying because of anything mechanics or anything that it is trash. It's like 5 or 6 trash waves. We only made it to the 4th ourselves. And you know again exactly what's coming. But certain mobs are immune to or resistant to physical damage, and certain mobs are resistant to magical damage. So even though you can do it with a full physical group, and there are videos out there of people doing it, it makes the fight harder. You're on a time limit as far as when the waves start coming out and things like that, and it kind of pigeonholes you in order to do it, in order to make it a little bit easier, again, because of the gear differential here. Pigeonholed you into wanting to bring 2 casters and 2 physical. And if you don't have those people at a high enough skill level that we want, it's a little annoying. When we recruited and we got our first 8-man going, we recruited people based on the skill. We kind of didn't care about the class. If you were a great player, we took you. And that was our kind of motto, was we don't care about any of that. We don't care if we have 4 bards in the group. If these 4 bards are the best ever, why not? They do DPS just like everyone else, and we'll be fine with it. So we did it in that mentality. So now we're short a a casted DPS, and it's causing a little bit of issues. We only had like an hour on the fight towards the end of the week, so we didn't have too much time to actually try it out, try different strats, see what works and what doesn't work. But we plan on eventually and checking it out and see what's going on. So those are pretty much my thoughts so far. I'm kind of disappointed no one has actually killed turn 5 in like a non-buggy way yet in the world. But I think the game has a lot of potential with competition there. So I'm gonna see what happens in the near future. Again, this is my week. This is only with my first week of rating. In 1 week, we literally got down 3 turns of coil, which I think is pretty good for a hardcore guild and things like that. So I hope that later on we can do more and more things. I'm also going to make a video soon about where I want to bring this channel and things I want to talk about and bring. But that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I want to know what you guys think about rating and endgame rating and everything. So post in the comments so I can read it, and I'm going to try to check it out and respond to ones that I think are worthwhile or interesting enough. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day.